Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Sheila. In today's video we are going to be learning how to make the V-stitch sweater. It works up really fast and it's a very simple project if you follow along with me closely. And for the materials you'll need, this is the yarn that I'm going to be using. It's called Seal 3-ply Chunky. It's 100% acrylic, and the hook I'm going to be using is a 6.5 millimeter crochet hook, which is a K hook. And then you also need a tapestry needle and a measuring tape, as well as a pair of scissors. So get your materials ready and let's get started. So we're going to be using two colors for our project, and for me I'll be using black and yellow. So I'll start off with the darker color because I prefer the darker color on the edges of my work. So let's start. You're going to grab your hook and you're going to take a measurement across your chest, like from shoulder to shoulder, from the end of your shoulder to the end of the other shoulder. And for me that is a total of 20 inches. That is how wide my shoulder area is, and I'll add 5 inches. So whatever your measurement is, add 5 inches. So for me I'll make a chain of 25 inches. So for me that was a total of 80 chains. So you're going to start off with a slip knot and make a chain of 80 or whatever number you need to achieve the measurement that you got plus 5 inches. So let me go ahead and make my chain. So I have my 80 chains, and when you achieve your measurement that you want for your size, you're going to chain up 3 more. So 1, 2 and 3, and into the 4th chain from the hook. That's the very last chain that you did, your 80th chain or whatever chain that you did. You're going to go into it with a double crochet, and then we are going to do something different. So chain 1 and then double crochet again in that very chain, but you're not going to finish up that double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Now we have 2 loops on our hook, and now we are going to prepare for another double crochet. So yarn over, skip 2 chains, and into the 3rd you're going to pull up a loop. Now you'll have 4 chains on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. You'll have 3 chains on your hook and yarn over and pull through all. So at this point we've joined this double crochet with this double crochet and we've created a V-stitch here. So let's do that again. Chain 1, double crochet in this same stitch, but don't finish up the double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. So you have 2 loops on your hook, and then prepare for another double crochet, skip 2 chains, and into the 3rd insert your hook, pull up a loop. You'll have 4 chains on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. You'll have 3 chains and then yarn over, pull through all. So we are going to continue doing this. Chain 1, do a double crochet but don't finish it up, yarn over, skip 2 chains, and into the 3rd insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through all. So we are creating these V stitches here. You can see them This is 1, this is 2, and this is the third. And for this one, we haven't yet finished it. You can see it's still like this, so we need to make it a V-stitch and also work half of the next V-stitch. So chain 1, do the same thing, do a double crochet but don't finish it, yarn over, skip 2 chains and into the third, do a double crochet, pull through 2 and pull through all. So that's the repeat for this row. I'm going to go all the way across doing that same exact thing. Don't forget to always chain 1 in between, and we are just repeating that same exact process all the way across our row. So go ahead and do that same exact thing until the end of your row. I'll be letting you know how many V-stitches that I have for my row. So this stitch works up really fast if you get the hang of the stitch, the flow of the stitch. So let me finish up my row and I'll get back to you when we are going to row 2. So right now I'm almost coming to the end of my row, and I'm just doing that same exact thing that we were doing before, and you can see this V-stitch is not yet finished, so chain 1 and finish that V-stitch. So we are doing a double crochet but we are not finishing it, and then you're going to yarn over and go into the very last stitch and place a double crochet, yarn over, pull through 2 and yarn over, pull through all. So you can notice at this point we have a V-stitch but we have the very last stitch. So at the end and at the beginning of every row we always have that one stitch. So at the beginning of the row it's a chain 3, and at the end of the row it's a double crochet. So that chain 3 at the beginning of the row counts as a double crochet. So you can see a V-stitch here, but we have a chain 3 here. So we want to maintain that, and at this point we are done with the very first row. And you're going to get your pair of scissors, you're going to chain up 1 and then cut your yarn. This is one of those projects that's going to have so many loose ends, so prepare to weave them in. And now we're going to be introducing our second color, and for me, as I had said, that will be yellow. So you're going to grab your second color. I don't know what your color choice was, but I'm going to just make a slip knot, and then I'm going to attach it in the very first stitch. Now this is where I ended my black row, so I'm turning over my work and I'm attaching it in the very first row in the very first stitch on this side. So I've attached and I'm going to chain up 3. So we're still going to do the V-stitches, but this time around we don't have to count the chains. We're going to be placing the V-stitches in the V-stitches below, so it's more definite where to place the V-stitches. So prepare for a double crochet, go into the V-stitch, the very first V-stitch, pull up a loop and do a double crochet, and then chain up 1 and then prepare for a double crochet, but this time we're not going to be finishing it, and then go into the next V-stitch and pull up a loop and then yarn over, pull through 2 and yarn over, pull through all. So we're going back to the same exact thing that we were doing for the very first row. So chain 1, prepare for a double crochet, insert your hook in the very V-stitch which has this double crochet here, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, but don't finish it, and then prepare for a double crochet and move into the next V-stitch and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through all. So you can see we are creating other V-stitches in each and every V-stitch below. So chain 1, double crochet but don't finish, then double crochet into the next V-stitch, pull through 2, pull through 3, chain 1, so we're going to keep repeating this until the end of the row. Chain 1, double crochet but don't finish, and then prepare for double crochet and move into the next V-stitch. So I guess I hope I'm explaining it well, because it's kind of hard to explain this stitch, but I hope you can follow along with my instructions. So let me go ahead and finish up row 2, and then I'll meet you back when I'm at row 3. So the V-stitches should be placed inside the V-stitches of the previous row. Keep that in mind. So we're coming to the end of our row 2, and you can see I've placed a double crochet, but I haven't yet finished it. So I'm going to place another double crochet in the next V-stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 3. So I finished this V-stitch, chain 1, insert your hook in that very V-stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, but then now we don't have a V-stitch here. Instead we have a chain 3 which counts as a stitch. So you're going to yarn over and go into the top of that chain 3, pull up a loop, so you'll have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through all. So that's how we finish up our row. You can see the straight line. So after this you're going to chain up 1 and cut your yarn, and then turn your work around and get ready for row 3. And for row 3 it's going to just basically be the same as row 2. So you're going to get your black yarn or whatever color you chose to use, and then go into the very first stitch here. So you're working in the opposite direction of the previous row, and then attach. This is the same exact thing that we did for row 2. Chain up 3, and then double crochet in the very first V-stitch. So the first V-stitch is here. Go into that space and double crochet, and then chain 1, and then double crochet in the same exact space, but don't finish the double crochet, and then yarn over and go into the next space, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through all. So we are still creating V-stitches. So we are going to keep repeating this row until we have the length of the sweater that we want. For me, I wanted a total of 20 rows, I think, and I'm going to go ahead and do a total of 20 rows, and I'll get back to you when I have that and I show you what to do next. So here are my 20 rows, and I did 10 rows of yellow and 10 rows of black, and this is what I came up with. The sides basically look the same because we kept turning while working each and every row, so both sides should look almost the same. So the next thing that we're going to do, we're going to be working our front panels. So let me take a measurement of the length of my sweater. My sweater is about 17 inches long, and if you want the same exact as mine, so you have to take a measurement. You have to work up yours until you have 17 inches long. But if you want it longer, then go ahead and do this row until you get the measurement that you need. So I have a total of 27 V-stitches. So I'm not counting this as I'm only counting the V-stitches, and I have a total of 27. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, and 27. So I have a total of 27 V-stitches for each and every row, and I want to leave a total of 5 V-stitches in the middle, and then I work my front panel on this side and the back the front panel on this side. So my 27 V-stitches minus 5, that will be a total of 22 V-stitches, and when I divide 22 by 2, I'll get 11 V-stitches. So I'll do a chain that gives me 11 V-stitches on this side, and then 11 V-stitches on this side, and then we shall leave the 5 V-stitches in the middle to split the neck area so that we get a comfortable fit for our sweater. So I hope that's clear. So we're going to start on our very first front panel. So the way I want to do it, the way I determine how many chains I need to get the number of V-stitches that I need, I chain 1, and I know this is the stitch that will get the very last double crochet, and then I chain another, and I know that this is the stitch that's going to get the very last V-stitch before the last double crochet. So right now we have 1 stitch that will get the very last V-stitch, then chain 2, and remember we keep skipping 2 chains and then a V-stitch, and so if this stitch will get a V-stitch, that means we'll have skipped these 2 stitches, and then this one will get a V-stitch. So far we have this stitch, this chain will get a V-stitch, and also this chain. So we have 1, 2, and then chain 2, and then the 3rd V-stitch will be in this one, chain 2, and then the 4th V-stitch will be in this one, chain 2, the 5th V-stitch will be in this next one, chain 2, 6th, chain 2, 7th, chain 2, 8th, chain 2, 9th, chain 2, 10th, chain 2, 11th. So since I told you I want a total of 11 V-stitches, and the 11th V-stitch will be here, that means I'm going to just chain up 3 and then go into that stitch that will get the 11th V-stitch, and place a double crochet, chain 1, and then double crochet again in that same stitch, but don't finish up the stitch. Prepare for another double crochet, skip 2, and then into the 3rd you're going to place a double crochet, and then yarn over, pull through all. So we are going back to the same exact thing that we did for the back panel when we were starting off with the very first row. So chain 1, double crochet in that same stitch, but don't finish up the double crochet, skip 2 chains, and then introduce another V-stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 3. So continue creating your V-stitches until you have your total of the V-stitches that you planned for. So for me there were 11, and I'm going to keep working until I have 11 V-stitches. So we're almost done with our very first row, and I'm preparing for another double crochet. So skip 2 and into the third, insert your hook, pull up a loop. So you'll have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through all. So you'll have 1 chain left. So chain 1 and then prepare for a double crochet, yarn over, pull through 2, and then you're going to prepare for another double crochet and go into the very last stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. So that means the technique that I used is very perfect to know the exact V stitches that you need for your row. So this is what it looks like. I'm going to continue to switch my colors just like I did for the back panel, and I keep working until I have my 20 rows for my left front panel, and then I'll go ahead and do the same exact thing. So this is what my front panel looks like. I went ahead to swap colors until I had a total of 20 rows, and so I'm going to go ahead and do the same exact thing for my next front panel. And this is what it looks like. You're going to have 2 identical parts, and these are the ones that we are going to put at the front like this, and then we leave space for the neck. So let's introduce our back panel again, and then we see how to attach these 2 front panels onto the back panel. So I'm going to first be attaching this side, the front panel of this side. So you're going to get, when I left off with my front panel, I left a very long chain so that I could be able to join the parts together using that same chain, that same string. So I'm going to just get the string and pass it through my tapestry needle, and we are going to be joining stitch to stitch. So we are joining this very first stitch to the very first stitch here, and then go into the next. So I'm just going over the stitches, attaching one on this side and one on the other side, and go all the way across until you're done with that. So I have my first front panel fully attached, and let me show you the inside of the work. This is what it looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same exact thing that I've done here onto the other side. I'm going to just lay my work flat and then attach my tapestry needle to the loose end that ended the front loop. And so you can see it's on this side. I want to start from this edge, so I'm going to just turn my work over and I start attaching my stitches one by one. So let me go ahead and do that. I'll meet you back when both panels are attached. So right now I'm done attaching both panels, and let me show you how that looks like. We have the back panel, which is this one, and then we have 2 front panels that have come to the front of our work, and you can see we've eliminated 5 V-stitches here for the neck portion. We shall work on the edging later, but for now this is what we have. We have this and then this, and to be clear, this side is not yet attached, it's still open. So the next thing that we want to do is to determine how wide we want our sleeves to be. So for me, I think I needed a total of, I wanted my sleeves to run from up here until the middle of my work, since my sweater is not that long. So since we had 20 rows here and then 20 rows on the back panel, I just determined 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the 10th row. This one, that means it's the exact middle. This point is the exact middle of our work. So we have 10 rows here and then 10 rows here up to the exact middle. And I would want to do a V-stitch in each and every row. So that means I'm going to do a sleeve that has 20 V-stitches, since these are 10 rows, and then on this side until the middle, those are also 10 rows. So using the same technique that we use to determine the chain that's needed for 11 V-stitches, we are going to use the same exact technique to determine a chain that will end up having 20 V-stitches, and we are going to work up our sleeve. So for me, I've already worked my sleeves and here they are. I did a chain that needs 20 V-stitches and kept working upwards until I had a total of 20 rows, and I did that 2 times to have 2 sleeves, of course. So since they're sleeves, they'll fold over like this and then be attached to our sweater. So my sleeve measurement is a total of about 17 inches wide, and in length it's about 17 to 18 inches long. So that's what I did for my sleeves. It's basically a repeat of the same exact stitch for the different parts. So the next thing that I'm going to do is to attach the sleeve to the body of the sweater. So I'm going to just put some long strand into the tapestry needle, and then remember, this is the back panel and this is one of the front panels. So this is the sleeve, and I'm just this is the seam line on top of your shoulder. So I'm laying it flat like this, and I'm going to distribute this sleeve, half of it on this side and half of it on this side. So let's see, we have a total of 20 V-stitches, so that means 10 of them go onto this side and 10 on this side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So this is the 10th. So I'm going to go into the middle stitch and put my tapestry needle in the middle here after the 10th V-stitch. And I'm going to just secure my yarn there and then start joining this row onto this V-stitch. And then the middle section here in between the rows in the middle here, and then this row into the next V-stitch, and then the middle of the 2 rows into the middle section. So we are going to keep repeating that all the way across. So I'm almost coming to the end of this side. So you're going to make sure you fasten, like you make sure that your yarn doesn't undo itself. So I'm just going into a few stitches here and there to make sure my yarn is secure enough. And that's the end of that part. So you can see what we've done here. So we are going to do the same exact thing on this side. So just get a strand of yarn and then do the same thing on this other side. So remember we are attached here. I'm going to attach in the same exact spot. And then I'll start working while joining onto the right side. So as I had said, a row into a V-stitch, and then the middle of the 2 rows into a space. So we are done attaching the very first sleeve onto the body of the sweater, and this is how it looks like. So that means when we fold the sweater like this, we shall have our sleeve also folded over like this. So I hope this makes sense. So we're going to go ahead and attach our second sleeve the same exact way that we've attached the first one. So go ahead and get your second sleeve, lay flat this part, and then get your sleeve and start attaching it here. 10 V-stitches on this side and 10 V-stitches on this side. So at this point I'm done with attaching both sleeves. And the next thing that we are going to do is to get rid of all these strands that are lying around. And you can see we have two strands at each point, a black one and a yellow one. And the way I'm going to do that, I'm going to just tie very tight knots of around 2 to 3 times and then cut them off. And then I'll have a very clean sweater. And then we shall see how to join the sides of the sleeves and the body of the sleeve, the front panel to the back panel in the sides. So just go ahead and cut off all these strands that are lying around. Make sure you first tie them tightly and then you cut them off. So after getting rid of all the loose strands, almost all, there's some that I didn't get rid of. I'll just weave them in using a tapestry needle because they weren't close to any other string to just tie them. So those ones I'll deal with them later on. So this is how the sweater looks like. It should be neater by now. And now we are going to be attaching our sleeves into a tube, And then we shall also be attaching the sides of our sweater. So this is the back panel. I'm trying to lay it flat. So this is the front panel on this side. You can see this, and this is the neck opening. So we are going to be joining this side. So we are attaching this side and also going all the way to the side of the sleeve like this. So you're going to identify the better side of your work. You're going to see which side you want to be on the outside so that you join when your sweater is on the wrong side, so that we don't have a seam line on the outside of our work. That's if you're using a single crochet. If you're using a tapestry needle, then you don't have to worry about that. You can do it on any side. So I'm going to get my yarn onto the tapestry needle. And I'm going to be joining the side of my sweater as well as the sleeve together. So I'll start from the bottom side of my sweater, and then I'll go all the way up, and then I'll also attach the sleeve. So the way I want to do this, I'm going to be using a tapestry needle. I'm going to make a knot at the very corner. And then I'm going to go into the row like that once, into the row, and then into the middle part of the two rows. So between yellow and black, and also the same point on the other side between yellow and black. Find a comfortable spot to put your tapestry needle and then pull through. So I'm just going into the rows and then in the middle of the rows. That's what I'm going to do all the way up and onto the side of the sleeve. If you prefer to use a single crochet, that's really up to you. Since this stitch is a bit long, we can't find a perfect way to join the sides of the work. But I'm trying my best to get something neat. So into the row and into the middle of the rows. Continue to do this all the way up. So you'll have something like this. It won't be so neat, but it won't be visible either. So let me continue doing that, and you're going to do it on both sides of your sweater. So after joining your sleeves and the side of your sweater should have gained shape by now. You should be seeing the results, and you should be seeing how the actual piece is going to look like. And the only thing left is to work on the ribbing on the edge of the sweater. So I'm going to go all the way around, and then also the ribbing on the sleeves. So I think I'm going to go a hook down, like to a 5mm crochet hook, because I want this to come in a bit. And then for the main body of the sweater, I'm also going to be using a 5mm crochet hook, but generally the general shape of the sweater is achieved. And so let's start on the ribbing. So we're going to start off with the sleeves, and we're going to make a slip knot, and then get one of our sleeves and attach our yarn in any V-stitch. So I'll go into this gap like that, and then I'll chain up 3, and this counts as a double crochet, and I'll double crochet once in each and every V-stitch. So this already has a double crochet. I'll go into the next with a double crochet, and then go into the next with a double crochet. So this is going to just try to gather our sleeve together so that it's smaller. So 1 double crochet in each and every V-stitch around the sleeve. So you should be having a total of 20, at least for me, I'll have a total of 20 double crochets, because for my sleeve I did a total of 20 V-stitches. So just go into each and every V-stitch with 1 double crochet all the way around. So this is, we're almost coming to the beginning of our row, and I'm placing my very last double crochet in the last V-stitch, and then you're going to go into the space between the first 2 double crochets, and then you'll slip stitch there. So you can see the space, the sleeve has become smaller. And now we are going to chain up 3 for the second row of the ribbing, and we are going to do front loop only. We're going to yarn over, like we are going to do a double crochet, and we are going to go behind. So we're going to do front post double crochet, sorry. So we go behind the post of the double crochet and work a normal double crochet like that, and continue to do front post double crochet all the way around. So we've gone all the way around, placing 1 front post double crochet in each and every double crochet below, and we've come to the end of the round, and we shall go between the first and second stitches and do a slip stitch, and we're going to do that 1 more round. So chain 3 and do front post double crochets in each and every stitch all the way around. So this will be our very final round for the sleeve, and we are going to do the same exact thing that we've done on this sleeve onto the second sleeve, and then I'll meet you back when you're done with both sleeves. So when you come to the end of the third round, you'll go in between these 2 stitches and make a slip stitch, and you'll chain up 1 and cut your yarn, and that will mark the end of the ribbing of the sleeve. So sorry for using a dark yarn, but those are the colors I chose. So this marks the end. You're going to just go ahead and weave in this end and do the same exact thing for the second sleeve. So my second sleeve is also finished, and this is how it looks like. Looks exactly the same as the first sleeve. And now we're going to be working the bottom of the sweater. So for the bottom of the sweater, we're going to be working from this end across the front panel, across the back panel, and onto the front panel on this side. So let's attach our yarn. I'm still using black for the edging. I'm going to attach my yarn here in the corner and then chain up 3. And this time around we are going to be doing 2 double crochets in each and every V-stitch. So I'll do a second one here and then 2 in each and every V-stitch. So 2 there, go into the next V-stitch and do 2 double crochets, and continue to do this all the way across your work. So after coming to the end of the very first row at the base, the first row of ribbing at the base of the cardigan, you chain up 3, turn your work, and now we are going to be working our front post, back post, double crochet. So the first one will be a front post, double crochet, and then the second one will be a back post, and we are going to keep alternating between the 2. So front post, back post, keep doing that all the way across. Front post, back post. So that will create a ribbing effect all the way across. So you can see that. So continue to alternate between front post and back post double crochet all the way to the end of this row. Alright, so we've come to the end of this row and you can see the ribbing effect. And now for the next row you're going to chain up 3 and turn your work. And now for every stitch that's popping outwards, it will get a front post double crochet, and every stitch that's going to the back will get a back post double crochet. And keep repeating this until the end of the row. So that means we are just alternating between front post and back post double crochet again until the end of the row. And we are going to keep repeating this row until we get the ribbing length that we need for our sweater. I'll be letting you know how many rows that I did for mine, but I guess this will be my very final row. I've done 3 rows. The first one was just the row of plain double crochets, and then the next 2 were the ones of front post, back post double crochet. So let me go ahead and finish up this one, and then we shall go to the front side of the sweater and also do the edging. So after finishing the base of our sweater, this is what we have. You can see the ribbing effect. And now I didn't cut my yarn. I'm going to just start working upwards to the front side of the sweater. So we are going to be working like this all the way up to the neck and then all the way down to this corner. So you're going to chain up 3 and then place 1 more double crochet in that double crochet space, and then do 2 double crochets in each double crochet space, and continue that all the way up. 2 double crochets in each and every double crochet space or each and every row. So go into each and every row and place 2 double crochets all the way up, and then I'll show you what to do when you get to the neck part. So I've gone all the way up, and this is the neck part of our sweater. We are going to be placing 1 double crochet in this V-stitch, and then we have 5 here in the middle. So for the next 5, you're going to be placing 2 double crochets in each V-stitch, in each of the next 5 V-stitches. So this is my 4th, and then 5th, and then I'll place 1 last one in this V-stitch just to balance what I did on the other side, and this is what you'll have. And then you're going to go all the way down, continuing to place 2 double crochets in each and every double crochet space. So go all the way down until you get to this corner here, down here. So when you get to this corner, you'll chain up 3 and turn your work, and we're going to start doing front post and back post double crochets. So alternate between front post and back post double crochets, just like we did at the base of the sweater. So we're going to be doing rows back and forth until I'll do a total of 3 rows. So this is my second one, and then I'll do one more row for my last row, and then I'll get back to you when I have my rows finished. So just do back post, front post double crochet, so that we create a ribbing. If you want a bigger ribbing, then you can do some more rows, like 5 rows, but I'll do a total of 3. So this is the second, and I'll do a third one. So at this point, when you're done with your third row, this is what you should have, and your sweater should be ready to wear. This is how it has turned out, really cute. And yeah, this is the end of our project. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.